theme is the principle of persistence in building a successful career. We are going to start with someone that I call Motani Motata. I don't know how you call him, but to me, I call him Motani Motata. And he is none other than Mr. Tani Desmond Awa. Please put your hands together. Even if you are viewing us live on Facebook, please put your hands together for this great guy.
Thank you very much. Tangche Zitangeche. And big afternoon to all the viewers listening to us online. And also a big good afternoon to all the creatives and artists that are here today. It's an honor to be here at this particular day to first of all talk to myself and talk to you so we can talk to us. Because I believe so much that we give out what we need the most. And that means whatever we will be talking about today, it means that it is not just for you, it is for me first, and then for you and those following us online. First and foremost, understand this. Life is too short to play small with your talents. What do I mean by that? Till you as an artist get to understand that you are the saviors of the world, till you get to understand that when the creator wants to bring something into existence, he finds somebody who is crazy enough like an artist to believe, to bring it into existence. Till you understand that, then you will begin to manifest in your maximum domain, or you begin to manifest better in your field. Whether a painter, a poet, a musician, a dancer. When the creator wants to bring something crazy, he needs someone to believe that that thing is possible. And the people who are crazy in the society, they call them mad people, are the artists. Because the society we are in, what happens to the society we are in? They are comfortable with the familiar. They are comfortable with the familiar. The familiar might not be the best, but they are always very comfortable with the familiar. That when you bring the unfamiliar, whether it is good or best, they will revolt. And so many people stop themselves from bringing the unfamiliar because they don't want to be scolded by the crowd. But artists throughout the ages have been known to be those crazy people that do things that the society don't like. And that is why you will realize that most artists, years after they are dead, that's when some of them start being honored for the things they said. And they were even crucified on the days that they were talking and saying about those things. So you need to understand that potential and that power that you have in you, such that when you are on stage performing anything, you have to understand that the world is actually waiting for you to bring that thing into existence. And that is why I say it is not time to play small. It is not time to play small. You were born into an opportunity as well as a responsibility to be legendary. It is not time to play small as an artist. It is not time to be shy. It is not time to be shy. And that is why the world waits. That is why the world waits for something new. For you to blow, as they call it in the world, for you to blow as an artist. It is not imitating other artists that are there. It is to bring that something new. It is to bring that something new. It is to take whatever you have learned and fashion it with the breath of your own spirit and bring it new to some other person. I believe so much that you have been able to achieve master level projects. You've been designed to realize unusually important pursuits and constructed to be a force for good in this tiny planet. That's what I believe so very much. But you have to reclaim your sovereignty as an artist. You need to reclaim your sovereignty over your primal greatness in a civilization that has become fairly uncivilized. Because when you look at what artists are portraying, some artists are portraying in the world today, you wonder, are we becoming civilized or uncivilized? Did we actually move from leaves to clothes, to move from clothes back to leaves, or to move from clothes back to being naked? Sometimes we wonder. We wonder. So to restore your nobility in a global community where the majority shops for nice shoes and acquires expensive things, yet rarely invests in a better self, you have to build that personal leadership. You have to, we are talking about resilience here. That resilience means you have to learn leadership, you have to learn management, you have to learn a couple of things all at the same time for you to be persistent. I always say when they talk about persistence, I say persistence is simple. Never giving up. Because the only way you will make it, the only way you will get there is to never give up. Once you give up, there is no guarantee that you will get there. So your personal leadership requires no demands, but that you stop being a cyber zombie, relentlessly attracted to digital devices, and restructure your life to model mastery, exemplify decency, and relinquish the self-centeredness that keeps good people limited. The great men and women of the world were all givers, not takers. So as an artist, when you are thinking about being persistent and consistent, what will keep you being persistent and being consistent is to keep at the back of your mind that I have to give. Awards are never given for what you receive. Awards are always given to those who have given. And there is a quote that says that there is no guarantee that the receivers always sleep better, but the givers are bound to always sleep better. There's another one that also makes us understand that as a giver, you're the most selfish person in the world. Why? Because whatever you give, you're giving it to yourself. So givers are the most selfish person in the world. Because whatever they give, they are giving it to yourself. Once you know that whatever you're giving others, you're giving it to yourself, you will step up your game when it comes to giving to others. You will step up that game. Because once you step up that game, what happens? During your journey and your career as an artist, you struggling to be persistent and consistent. When you're weak, there will be someone to lift you up once you have been given. But the good thing about what the Creator does is those you are giving to will not be those that will give you back. No. You will be disappointed that you will go back to those you were given to ask for help when you're down and they won't. God is just trying to push them away and show His greatness by bringing somebody new, so that no one takes the glory but Him. So we have to understand this. You have to renounce the delusion that those who accumulate the most win. Along your journey to be persistent and consistent, it's not about accumulating the most. You cannot go far when you're carrying so many things. You cannot. So you have to realize, and don't be fooled that the more you accumulate, it means you're one. You should not be fooled that the more followers or that it means you are winning in your career. No. New Beauty Africa always says it's about the impact. It's about the lives you've changed. It's very possible that God made you an artist for just one person. Just one. And if you end up not reaching that person, then you are failed. Even if you have 10,000 followers. Even if you have 10,000 likes. So once you're mounting that stage, tell yourself, tell the Creator, give me that ability to be able to reach that person that you brought me here for. Just that person. Whether they clap or they no clap, not be a business. Not be a business actually. You have to understand these principles as you grow. So, while you do what you can do, my recommendation is that as an artist, to be that consistent, you need to create a private life. A private life that is rich, a private life that is strong, rich in ethics, rich with marvelous beauty, and unyielding when it comes to the protection of your inner peace. when it comes to the protection of your inner peace. When we hold workshops in the future, we'll understand. Coach Landro and myself, we are working a lot on that. This is a seminar. When we hold workshops, you will now know what it means. You will now be given techniques on what it takes to maintain your inner peace as an artist, so that you can give the world maximum of what you were sent to give the world. Because if you can't keep that inner peace, you can't give the world anything. So you must maintain your private life. I'm happy with so many of the renowned artists we have here in Cameroon, the way they are keeping their private life private. For example, I'll talk of Salatiel, I'll talk of Mr. Leo, the way they are keeping their private life private. Keep it private. Enya always says that the people are in love with the art, not you. That's why she doesn't go to the red carpet. Check on Enya on YouTube, you understand. The people they are in love with my art, not me. And when I went for a seminar in Boya, they said one thing that humbled me. That as an artist, you're nobody special. You are just privileged to be given something to give to the world. So all you can do is just to give it. And don't feel that you're too special. You're supposed to be treated different when you go to places. No. You were just privileged that it was given to you. So you must learn to just give out what you have been given. Because that will help you build your self-esteem. It will help you be persistent along the way, be humble along the way. But if you feel like you're too special and you go to give Robert Shea and a shock where you don't enter there, it doesn't matter. You've been given something to give to the world. Give it and go. And this is the best way you will be able to soar with the angels and walk alongside the gods. Because as an artist, you are a god. Because others are looking up to you. They are just waiting for you to make a statement, and they pick that statement and run with it. So, each of you has a call on your lives. Every one of you carries an instinct for excellence within your spirit. No one in this room needs to stay frozen in average or succumb to the mass mediocritization of behavior evident in the society, along which with the collective deprofessionalization of business so apparent in the industry. Limitation is nothing more than a mentality that too many good people practice daily until they believe it's reality. It actually breaks my heart to see so many potentially powerful human beings stuck in a story about why they can't be extraordinary, professionally and personally. I always tell myself, once you understand that as an artist you are a creator, then you will understand that perfection is just a word that was created. Sometimes I always say, can we really imagine that God created everything, looked at it and said it was good and perfect, then made man and placed at the top of those things when man was less perfect and man was less good than the things he was placed to take over? These are the questions I always ask myself. And I don't think that is possible. You will not take something, you will not put somebody to watch over something if that person is not better than those things. That is not possible. It's not possible for me. That's what I believe. So, when we understand that you are a creator, everything you do is something you're creating. You will do away with that word perfection. You will do away with that word perfection. There is another guy who says it's about progression, not perfection. So, it's about progressing, not perfecting. So along your journey of being an artist, whether painter, writer, dancer, it's about progression. Have I become better today than I was yesterday? Have I? Well, that is what will keep you going, even when the world does not applaud whatever you are doing. You need to remember that your excuses are seducers, your fears are liars, and your doubts are thieves. Your doubts are thieves. You have to remember this. You need to remember this. One thing you have to know too is, I standing here, I know because I've had difficult times, and I know that you too have had difficult times, and you will still have difficult times, and we will still have difficult times. Miles Monroe always says it's either you're coming from trouble or you're moving towards one. But TJX will say that the troubles are like the gym to which it helps build your muscles to be able to encounter the things in life. So the troubles you face are like push-ups that helps build your muscles to be able to face the greatness that you so much want in your life. So I know you've had some difficulties in your life. We all have. I get that you might be feeling that things have not turned out the way you thought when you were a little kid. You thought things would be full of fire, full with desire and wonder. Some of us did not plan that every day is supposed to be looking the same. Some of us didn't plan that. Some of us didn't know that we'll have to grow up to be dealing with stressful worries, endless responsibilities that will stifle our originality and steal our energy. That's why some people say from time to time that growing up is a scam, because we thought that growing up is easier. It will be easier than when we were kids, not knowing that we were supposed to build ourselves in such a way that when you grow up you should be able to face any situation you're facing and go over it. The only place where you don't have troubles to face is the graveyard. If you don't want to face troubles in this life, especially in your career as an artist, go you to the graveyard quietly. And that means when you're dead, that's the only time you will stop facing troubles. That's the only time. So understand that. You have to understand that. You must understand, because if you don't, it is you're going to be disappointed along this way. And yes, I am aware that there are also so many in this room who are currently leading lives of love. You've had an epic success in the world, full of your game and enriching your families and communities with an electricity that borders on otherworldly. Nice work. Bravo to those who are succeeding. And yet, you will understand that you too have experienced seasons where you've been lost in the frigid and dangerous valley of darkness. You too have known the collapse of your creative magnificence as well as your productive eminence into a tiny circle of comfortableness, fearfulness, and numbness that betrayed the mansions of mastery and reservoirs of bravery inside you. You too have been disappointed by the barren winters of a life weakly lived. You too have been denied many of your most inspired childhood dreams. You too have been hurt by people you trusted. You too have had your ideals destroyed. You too have had your innocent heart devastated, living your life decimated like a ruined country after an ambitious foreign invaders infiltrated it. No matter where you are on this pathway of life, please, don't let the pain of an imperfect past hinder the glory of your fabulous future. Don't let the pain of an imperfect past hinder the glory of your fabulous future. You are so much powerful than you may currently understand. As an artist, you're so much powerful than you can currently understand. Even before the world knows you, just look around in the quarter. Look around. And you will must see one of the little children already trying to imitate you. Just look around in the Cartier. You're not that famous yet. You don't have the 1,001 followers. You're not on every TV screen and on every social media post or blog. But if you look around you, there is one person that is already trying to walk in your shoes. So that means you're much more powerful than you currently understand. Splendid victories and outright blessings are coming your way, and you are exactly where you need to be to receive that growth necessary for you to lead an unusually productive, extremely prodigious, and exceptionally influential life that you've earned through the hardest trials. So along your way, the trials, remember the trials are just preparing you for the greatness that you want to achieve. Nothing is wrong at this moment. Whether the crisis, the virus, nothing actually is wrong at this moment. Even if it feels like everything is falling apart, nothing is wrong. If you sense your life is a mess right now, this is simply because your fears are just a little stronger than your faith. And as an artist, we know very well we are the highest people who have faith in whatever we do. And we put the faith in whatever we do. And it is the faith that affects others. It is the faith that pulls others towards you. So if you feel like something is wrong now, then check yourself and overcome that fear that you have within you. Overcome that fear that you have within you. With practice, you can turn the volume of the voice of your scared self. You can turn off that volume of your scared self and increase the tone of your most triumphant side. The truth is that every challenging event you've experienced, each toxic person you've encountered, and all the trials you have endured have been perfect preparation to make you into the person you are now. You needed these lessons to activate the treasures, talents, and powers that are now awakening within you. Nothing was an accident. Nothing. Zero was a waste. You are definitely exactly where you need to be to begin the life of your most supreme desires. One that can make you an empire builder alongside a world changer, and perhaps even a history maker. With the way I'm talking, you might think this all sounds easy, but it's a lot harder in reality. You might think it's easy, but I say it's a lot harder in reality. But one thing is sure, ideas are worth nothing unless backed by application. So whatever idea you have as an artist, unless you start implementing it, those ideas are worthless. And the challenge is this. Flavie Praise. When you have an idea and you let your fears overcome your faith and you don't materialize that idea, when you see someone exhibiting that idea that you had, the challenge is that you start becoming jealous. You start becoming angry. And in that case, in the long run, you become jealous. Why are you becoming angry? Because you knew that that thing was within you. And you were supposed to have started it earlier, but you didn't. So, first of all, you are angry with yourself, not even the person that is exhibiting. Because the idea came to you and you shoved it away. And when ideas come to you and you shoved it away, the idea go to another person that will bring it to fruition. In the long run, you become jealous. Then that person that is exhibiting that idea, you become jealous of that person, and you're still tying yourself down. When the best way to do now is to just meet that person and see how you people can build better. In most cases, we become very, very jealous, and we put ourselves down. So we need to avoid that as we struggle to build consistency and persistence along the way towards our career. If an idea had come to you before as an artist to do, I like what this guy is doing. If you look at Young Holiday is doing quarter news now. He's rapping and telling news by rapping. At least from him, I'm being able to hear what is happening around the country now. It's been like 6 years. I went on the news staff for like 6 years. I don't listen to news. Why? Because I'm affected so much by the things I hear from the news, and most of the things that come from the news most times are propaganda. They are propaganda. They are things that they will only impede you from doing what your imagination is telling you. So I've been starving myself from news for long now, but Young Holiday is bringing me back to it in a subtle way. He is telling man they read news for rap in pidgin, everything. He give headlines. After the headlines, he give the news in full. By rapping. That's an idea that came to him. And he's doing so great with it now. The challenge is there might be a rapper who has had that idea before but did not materialize it. So the best thing that rapper can do to push themselves now is what? Meet him and let's see how we can make it better. If you end up being jealous, you are tying yourself down and you're pushing him ahead. Mama Z always says that when you see someone going higher heights, especially in your own field, instead be happy, because they are breaking grounds for you to pass. They are breaking grounds for you to pass. So when I saw somebody like Makalonge performing at the first ever women's conference in Yaoundé, at the Yaoundé Conference Center, with over 3,000 people, I had to celebrate. So, oh, Sisa point don't go reach. That means a road already reached. That means it already paved road for the way I've even performed for African Union Summit. So I had to. I will share, I will do whatever I can to make sure that his performance goes to the ends of the world. But that does not mean that the jealousy did not come at first. Say, Chai, Grant, why not they grant the perform for the conference? Why not with me? Why not they grant? See the two way the grant performance, say, me, if you do better. It will always come. And when it comes, it's only action that will make the difference. How you shut up that kind of thing, never go share and serve, even though you had to tell you, say, boy, no share up. I did share up. I did share up. That's all. So, one thing you should understand is that the society that we are in has sold us a lot of mistruths. Okay? What are the mistruths that the society has sold us along the way that makes it difficult for us to be persistent and consistent? They have sold us that pleasure is preferable to the terrifying yet majestic fact that all possibility requires hard work, regular reinvention, and a dedication as deep as the sea to living our harbors of safety daily. Are we understanding? So, the society is telling us that things are easier than the way they seem, not knowing that consistency and persistency, it's a difficult task. It's a difficult task. Very, very difficult. I believe that the seduction of complacency and an easy life is 100 times more brutal, ultimately, than a life where you go all in and take an unconquerable stand for your brightest dreams. Remember what Mama Z, remember what you told me when you spoke with Babs. Babs says it's either all in or nothing. It's either you go all in or nothing. There is no need playing small. It's either you go all in or nothing. Because if you don't go all in, you will not get what those who go all in will get. And understand how hard it is. World class, to become world class poet, to become a world class poet, to become a world class musician, to become a world class dancer, to become a world class singer, to become a world class painter. That starts where your comfort zone ends. So world class begins where your comfort zone ends. And that is the rule that successful people have understood. World class begins where your comfort zone ends. I remember when the first time Coach Lanjo said, Mutani, we are going to do a poem in Pidgin. And I wrote something I sent to him to translate, let's do it in Pidgin. And after he sent it back to me, I could not even understand what I had written that had been translated into Pidgin. And the Pidgin at the Tiwo Toka every day. I had to take the English manuscript and put the Pidgin to get to understand what he was saying. And the first time I did a performance in Pidgin, it was weird. It was so weird for me and so uncomfortable for me. Because I had never done it before. I had never done a performance in Pidgin before. But the reality is that after that performance, the number of feedback you get from people about how that performance impacted them is more than when you stand here and use all the terms and all the pronunciations and all the what is it or what is it. Because you have come down to their own language, to where they can relate. It was uncomfortable for me. So as an artist, while struggling to be persistent and consistent, understand that sometimes you have to go to the uncomfortable ends in order to impact the life, in order to meet your audience, or to meet your fans or your supporters. So world class begins where your comfort zone ends. So from a young age, we are programmed into thinking that moving through life loyal to the values of mastery, ingenuity, and decency should need little effort. And so, if the road gets tough and requires some patience, we think we are on the wrong path. We've encouraged a culture of soft, weak, and delicate people who can't keep their promises, bail on commitments, and who quit on their aspirations the moment the smallest obstacle shows up. Understand this: hard is good. Real greatness and the realization of your inherent genius is meant to be a difficult spot. Only those devoted enough to go to the fiery edges of their highest limits will expand them. And the suffering that happens along the journey of materializing your special powers, strongest abilities, and most inspiring ambition is one of the largest sources of human satisfaction. A major key to happiness and internal peace is knowing that you've done whatever it took to earn your rewards passionately, invested the effortful audacity to become your best. This is what we should understand. We should understand. So, I would like to end with this piece that I wrote, I think it's 2016. It's entitled, this poem is entitled, What More? What More? And it embodies a lot of stuffs that have to do with this thing. It has to do with, how do I say it? It has to do with persistence, being persistent. It embodies a lot of stuff that had to do with that. So, what more? April 12, 1964, Nelson Rolihlahla Madiba Mandela was sentenced to life imprisonment for fighting for justice and equality for the human race. He moved on from the prison to the presidency, two places of different realities. December 4, 1982, Nicholas James Vujicic was born in Melbourne, Australia, with no hands and no legs. But he has grown to be a successful speaker, a writer, and with a wife and 4 kids. Thomas Alva Edison, 10,000 times he tried to get the light bulb to shine. When he finally did, and when asked, he said, "I did not fail. I only found 10,000 ways that won't work." And he said that many of life's failures are encountered by people who gave up not knowing how close they were to their success. He also said that I am not a genius because I am too smart. I am a genius because I stay with problems longer. Suashiro Honda was rolled out of school for dullness by his teachers. They said he will never succeed in life, that he will never amount to anything. But he has grown to be the owners of one of the biggest motor companies, the Honda Motor Company, with net worth $244.4 million, 2016 statistics. The Edinburgh Society of Engineers told the Wright brothers that a metal object will never fly. That a metal object will never fly. But 1902, they watched as the Wright brothers made that impossibility became possible, and they watched with so much surprise. Look at Joyce Meyer. She was raped by her own father. She was divorced by her first husband, but she has grown to become a woman empowerer, giving hope to the hopeless, and she is the president of Joyce Meyer Ministries. Look at Jesus Christ. He was castigated. He was labeled an outcast. He was, all types of things were done to him by those he came to die for. He was beaten, humiliated, killed, and buried. He still rose again to still save them from their own sins. So what more do you need to understand? What more do you need to understand? That if Albert Einstein, one of the greatest known scientists, only started talking at the age of 4, what more do you need to understand that the predicament that you're in does not define your destiny? What more do you need to understand that if Thomas Alva Edison and Albert Einstein had to be self-educated, what more do you need to understand that whether you go through school or not, it has little or nothing to do with the impact that you were sent to create in this world? What more do you need to understand that you need not go out there or fall bush to be impactful or to make it in this life? If you look at those who have gone, look at the leaders. I always talk of Robert Gabriel Mugabe. I talk of Mobutu Sese Seko Kukubendu Wazabanga. They all went out there and studied and came back, and they were suffering from the Messiah syndrome. They thought they were saviors and they had to rule for life. And look at what they did to their countries. So what more do you need to understand that you can still make it here? Like Nelson Madiba Mandela did and taught us the Ubuntu. I am here because you are. And you are here because I am. What more do you need to understand that money is not everything, though everyone wants to taste it for themselves? What more do you need to understand that there is a difference between making money and making meaning with your life? That you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start in order to be great. What more do you need to understand that most of us are self-made, but only the rich will admit it? When I talk of self-made, it is because we have to understand that most of us, especially when we are failing, we blame everybody but ourselves. We blame the whole world but ourselves. And once we blame everybody but ourselves, we are giving our power off, and it means that we cannot take ourselves out of that failure. But once you understand that where I am, I got myself into it, then you will be able to get yourself out of it. So what more do you need to understand that you miss all the wonders and pleasures in this life if you spend all your days focusing on the fruits you reap rather than on the seeds you plant? What more do you need to understand that in order to get today, to get tomorrow, what others don't have, you must be willing to do today what others won't do? What more do you need to understand that the more you give, the more you have? And in order to change what you have, you must change what you give. What more do you need to understand that things don't change, but we have to change? What more do you need to understand that failure is an event? Yesterday really did end with last night, and today is a brand new day for you to start afresh. I have a friend, Sachs always says today is another day to do better than yesterday. What more do you need to understand that success, a win, does not make you, and failure, a loss, should not break you? What more do you need to understand that whatever trials you're going through as you try to build consistency and persistency in your art, what more do you need to understand that everything you're going through is preparing you for what you have asked for, so that when you are ready to get into your glory, when you are ready to manifest the best that the Creator has given you, and the world cannot understand, and they ask you, will you be able to face the storm? Then at that point you can laugh and tell them, I am the storm. Thank you very much.